Hollywood has always loved its stars, but more than that, it loves the drama behind the curtain. Few stories have captivated the world as completely as the trial of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. This was not just a legal battle, it was a cultural earthquake. It wasn't merely about two celebrities falling apart, it was about truth, perception, justice, and the dark underbelly of fame. Johnny Depp, once the darling of Hollywood with his deep eyes and deeper performances, had it all: fame, fortune, and an enigmatic aura. Amber Heard, a rising star with striking looks and undeniable ambition, quickly became a media fascination when the two came together. Their union seemed like something out of a movie, but what followed was more twisted than any film they had ever acted in. They met on the set of The Rum Diary in 2009. Chemistry wasn't just visible, it crackled. Depp, then in a long-term relationship with Vanessa Paradis, found himself enchanted. Heard, young and bold, was drawn to his artistic spirit. By 2012, Depp and Paradis had parted ways. In 2015, Johnny and Amber were married. But marriage didn't bring peace. Friends whispered about fights, broken objects, and bruised emotions. The public saw red carpets and smiles. Behind closed doors, there was chaos. In 2016, Amber filed for divorce and obtained a temporary restraining order against Depp, alleging domestic violence. She appeared outside a courthouse with what looked like a bruise on her face. The media exploded. For Johnny Depp, the impact was immediate. He was dropped from the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Brands distanced themselves. His name became toxic. Amber positioned herself as a survivor. She wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post in 2018, never naming Depp, but clearly referring to him. Depp sued for defamation. Public opinion swayed, then twisted. Leaked recordings showed Amber admitting to hitting Depp. Videos surfaced, rumors ran rampant. Suddenly, it wasn't a clear case of abuse, it was a tangled mess of accusations, counter-accusations, and a bitter legal war. When the trial began in 2022, the world watched like it was the season finale of their favorite show. Live streams garnered millions of views. Clips flooded TikTok and Instagram. Depp, calm and deliberate, took the stand. He spoke of drug abuse, yes, but also of emotional manipulation and false allegations. Heard was painted as controlling and volatile. Amber fired back with her own harrowing tales of violence and fear. The courtroom became theater. Real tears. Gasps from the audience. Gaslighting, heartbreak, and trauma spilled from the lips of two people who once claimed to love each other. One of the most shocking moments came when an audio recording was played. Amber could be heard saying, "Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, I, Johnny Depp, a man, am a victim too. See how many people believe you." The courtroom went silent. Millions watching online froze. Expert witnesses spoke about narcissistic behavior, PTSD, and the cycle of abuse. Both sides painted each other as abusers. Both claimed the mantle of victimhood. Text messages, videos, security footage, every moment dissected by legal analysts and social media sleuths. The internet became a war zone. Supporters of Johnny Depp created videos breaking down every facial expression of Amber Heard. Memes exploded. Celebrities subtly and not so subtly took sides. Even courtroom sketches went viral. It was the Ibis Me Too era, but this time it was different. For many, it wasn't about gender. It was about justice. Could Johnny Depp, a man, be a victim of domestic abuse? People started to ask the hard questions. On June 1, 2022, the jury returned a verdict. Johnny Depp had been defamed. He was awarded $10 million in compensatory damages, $5 million in punitive damages, reduced to $350,000 by law. Amber Heard was awarded $2 million in her countersuit. Johnny posted a statement, "Truth never perishes." Amber responded, expressing disappointment and fear over what the verdict meant for women. But for Johnny, it was a resurrection. For Amber, a retreat. Depp stayed largely quiet but began re-emerging. A standing ovation at Cannes, music tours, film roles. He was rebuilding. Amber sold her home in California and moved to Spain, seeking privacy. She continued to speak about the experience, insisting she had told the truth. The trial reshaped conversations. People questioned how quickly media can turn against someone. Others noted how social media mocked and dismissed Heard's emotional expressions. Was it misogyny or accountability? Universities held forums. Law schools used the case as a study in defamation and celebrity. Abuse survivors on both sides of the gender divide said they felt heard or silenced. This was more than two people in court. It showed the dangers of trial by media, the price of fame, the complexity of human relationships, the fragility of truth when perception is everything. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard weren't just actors, they became symbols. For what, exactly, depends on who you ask. In the end, no one truly won. Reputations shattered, careers scarred, and personal wounds laid bare for the world. But out of the ashes came deeper questions about who we believe, why we believe them, and how we treat stories that don't fit the narrative. It's easy to cheer for the side we like. It's harder to sit with the truth that sometimes both sides are broken. So, what do you believe? Was Johnny Depp a victim reclaiming his voice? Was Amber Heard unfairly demonized? Or was this the tragic collapse of two flawed people in a toxic relationship? Comment below. Share this story. Open a conversation. Because somewhere, someone is still afraid to tell their truth, and they're watching how we respond